you can't really tell. You can't tell. What I've seen today, no.
I think people are
Yeah, and
traveling more.
yes, I think so. Yes, and I'm doing it until 24th.
No, 24th, huh?
Yes, yes.
That's okay.
Mm.
So maybe we can start.
Yes, we can
So,
start. I'm
so
ready.
today I decided to use my own version of notes.
Okay. All right.
So it's all about introduction to supply chain management. Remember
Mm-hmm.
yesterday and the other day we were talking about supply chain. Just a minute, there is some noise. Eh?
It's okay, kids.
Kijana anataka to note that is we have two types of materials. We have the intermediate material and you have the finished product. Intermediate material is the material that is between transformation stage and the final stage. And
Okay.
the finished product now is the complete product. So once you have that complete product, the next thing is to distribute those products to the customer. So that network that we are talking about, therefore, is possible through the efforts of supply chain management. So according to Ravethi 2018, he defined supply chain management as a group of organizations that are connected loosely and ensure collaborations between those groups. And the main goal for those groups is to ensure they're able to produce products more efficiently and deliver the products to the customer. So the issue is efficiency is very key. And when you have efficiency at the end of the day, it means the organization is more effective and customers or suppliers are not complaining in any way to that organization. So when we put all this together, then we have a set of order entry and order fulfillment. So the issue of customers now come in. Once you have the customer order, then it means at the end of the day, you must ensure you fulfill that order. And for that to be possible, you must put all those people together so that you achieve that at the end of the day. So our focus here, therefore, is trying to connect the company, the supplier, and the customers when we're talking about supply chain management. Any question?
Management.
Any
No,
question?
so far so good.
So far, so
No.
good. So the concept of supply chain is a set of interconnected linkages between suppliers of material and services that span from transformation of raw materials into product and services and deliver them to the firm's customer. So when you talk about raw materials, those are inputs that are used in the organization. So input is anything that comes into the organization and it is used for production. For example, when you talk about materials, that is one type of input that is very key to kickstart the production process in an organization. Then we have people who are working for that production organization. For example, the employees. Then we have issues to do with the machines that are normally used in production. So it is always important for you to, before you start any production, you must ensure you are able to have those components put together. We have the inputs, we have the transformation process, and we have the output. And the transformation process is the conversion now. You are converting your raw materials into finished product. So that process of converting now is what we are referring to as the transformation process. Then we also have the output now. The output in this case is the final product that goes to the customer. So the main focus is to ensure that the customer is able to receive those outputs at the time they really need those outputs. For example, when you walk into a supermarket today and you wanted milk, I'm sure you're going to get that milk, regardless of the time that you're going to that organization or to that supermarket. So they've done what it takes to ensure that you as a customer, you're able to receive those items whenever you want them. So a similar definition of supply chain is a network of autonomous, semi-autonomous business entities collectively responsible for procurement, manufacturing, distribution activities associated with one or more families related product. So when you're putting all these activities together to form a network of those activities that work seamlessly together to achieve a certain objective in an organization, then that is called a supply chain. Yeah, then we also have another definition of a chain that says it is a set of entities that are involved in designing new products and services, procuring raw materials, transforming them into semi-finished and finished products, and delivering them to the end customer. So in all those definitions of supply chain, there are three things that come into our mind. The first one is designing new products and ensuring that these products are transformed. And at the end of the day, we have finished or semi-finished products. And these products must be delivered to the end customer. So there's that network. So there's that network that flows when we talk about supply chain management. So those key components must always be present when you're talking about supply chain management.
Okay.
So we have different characteristics of supply chain. And the first one, the first characteristic is that supply chain are networks. So the network concept implies that some coordinated processes and relationship are put together. So when something is a network, for example, Safaricom is a network, then it means we have various activities that have been coordinated together to ensure that you're able to communicate with various parties from across the globe. So when that is put together, therefore, it means supply chain can be considered as a network. Something that is a network, it means we have various other activities that are put together to ensure success in coordination of processes and relationships. Then we also have supply chain consists of processes which can be defined as specific. For example, we have ordering of work activities across time and space with a beginning and an end and clearly identified inputs and outputs. So supply chain is a process. And when something is a process, then it means we have the starting point and we have the end point. And the starting point is where we have inputs. And these inputs are the inputs that are going to facilitate any supply chain management. For example, we are talking about inputs like material, input like labor, inputs like machines, inputs like finances that an organization has. So all that put together, then it means supply chain is going to be successful. And at the end of the day, you'll have the output that you want. And in this sense, the output is the customer satisfaction and the customer service. So once you get that output, then it means you are successful as a supply chain.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the other characteristic is that supply chain have linkages which facilitate the coordination of processes and relationships. So something that is a linkage, it means it is trying to link 2 or 3 things together to achieve a certain objective or to coordinate various activities. Just a minute. So something that is a link, for example, when I send a link to you, then it means that link is going to create like something like a bridge where you'll be able to get information, you'll be able to get something, or you'll be able to cross the other end. So supply chain enables you to create that link between various processes and relationships. So when we are talking about supply chain, you're able to relate with other functions. For example, supply chain can relate to, let's say, marketing department. It can relate to human resource department, and other departments within an organization. So you can see that link comes out clearly. Yeah? Then the other characteristic is that supply chain are upstream and downstream. The supply chain are upstream and downstream. So I want, when we talk about upstream, it starts with the manufacturing.
Okay.
And goes backwards to the supplier. And downstream, it starts with
upstream and downstream.
And downstream. So we are having an organization here, let's say a manufacturing organization. When we talk about upstream, this refers to when you go backwards from the supplier to the supplier, then we are talking about the upstream part of supply chain. Then you have the downstream that goes down until you reach the ultimate customer. So in a simple definition, we can say supply chain is the process of, it's the upstream, downstream of materials and information from the supplier up to the customer. Is that okay?
Not quite.
So I wish I could have a blackboard where I can demonstrate. There's a diagram that I gave you some days ago. Let me see if there's a diagram here. There's no diagram.
Okay.
I think there's no diagram. So an example of a supply chain. Let's say you are working in a retail industry. Remember, when you are ordering goods from a manufacturer.
Yes.
Let's say a manufacturer like Bidco. Bidco is a manufacturer. So before Bidco starts manufacturing those items, they normally need raw materials for them to start the production. And remember, those raw materials have their source. Let's say there's a supplier who supplies those raw materials. Let's say sunflowers, you know. So remember, there is a supplier for that supply. And that is a farmer who plants the sunflower. So the supplier, after planting the sunflowers, he must supply those sunflower seeds to the supplier in its raw state. Then the supplier takes those materials and does what is called value addition. Maybe repacks those sunflower into various packages so that when they take those materials to the manufacturer, they will be in units. Let's say 90 kg packages. Zile gunia, unaona gunia? So kuna supplier yeye ni farmer huko So huyu anapanda mbegu, inafika maybe 9 months, anavuna. Akishavuna anaziweka kwa gunia ama anaziweka kwa lori, anazitupa kwa lori ndani, anapelekea supplier mwingine. Anapopelekea supplier mwingine, huu supplier ni supplier wa labda kampuni kama Bidco. So Bidco amemuitisha tani mzima ya sunflower. So supplier atapigia ule supplier wake, supplier kwa shamba, mwambie nataka sunflower kiasi hii. So anapompelekea huyu supplier, itabidi afanye repackaging. Ndio wakati atapelekea Bidco aweze kupackage maybe 90 kg bags. So Bidco now takes the raw materials and tries to do what is called value addition. Anaenda ana squeeze the sunflower ndio itoe mafuta. So that movement from the supplier to the supplier now until we reach the manufacturer is what we are referring to as the upstream movement.
Okay.
So unaona inatoka kwa the person who initiates the process now is the manufacturer. Because anapatia huyu order, huyu anapatiana order huko.
Ndio.
Upwards. From the manufacturer to the supplier up to the supplier. So
Yes.
imekwenda juu. So that is what we are referring to as upstream.
Okay, I understand now.
Because inarudi from the manufacturer going up,
Yes,
supplier
going up.
up to
Yes, from the
supplier,
shamba, yeah.
things like that. So when you're talking about downstream now, after the enterprise now, the manufacturing organization, after producing the oil, after squeezing the oil, wakazieka kwa hizo nini zao hizo mitungi zikakuwa sawa, wakapack, wakabrand. So the movement now starts. The manufacturer transports the items to the retail organization, which is Naivas now, and Naivas is the customer to Bidco. Nola. So Naivas wataitisha order Bidco atawapelekea. Kuna customer mwingine anaendeanga Naivas vitu ya hoteli yake, anaenda anachukua Elianto kwa hoteli, anaenda anapika kwa hoteli yake. So akifika kwa hoteli yake, kuna mwingine anakuja kukula. So unaona that movement now is the downwards or the downstream movement of materials from the manufacturing organization up to the client.
Yes.
I think now you understand better.
Yes.
You have a question?
No, not now.
No questions.
No questions.
So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the types of supply chains. Types of supply chains. We have various types of supply chain, and the first one is customer supplier. The supply chain that we are going to talk about is characterized by the customer supplier characteristic. And in this type of characteristics, we have different types of chains. The first one is a concentrated chain. And this is basically found in businesses such as the automotive industry, where we have few customers, but many suppliers.
Oh, like, for example?
For example, Toyota. Toyota is an automotive industry, and the work of Toyota is to produce cars.
Cars, yes.
People who are going to buy cars are very few, but yet we have many suppliers of cars. We have Toyota, we have Subaru, we have which other one do you know?
I know Range Rover, Mercedes.
These all those,
Honda.
So we have many suppliers, yet we have few customers. So that is a concentrated type of chain. And the second characteristic of this,
concentrated.
It's concentrated because we have many suppliers, but very few customers, because not all can afford cars.
Yes.
Then we have customers with demanding requirements. So remember, when you're going to buy a car, you don't just go and take a car. We have some specifications that you need to check on those cars. Wengine wanataka gari inakaa red, wengine wanataka gari inakaa blue, wengine wanataka na steering sijui inakaaje. So we have demands on those cars. So in this type of chains, as much as that relationship, customers normally take a lot of time when they are buying such items, because they want to be very sure that what they are buying is something that is of quality.
Okay.
Then the other characteristic is that we have EDI systems or requirements for just-in-time delivery. So EDI systems, these are electronic data interchange system, where we are trying to use technology to ensure that you achieve more and your service is more accurate. For example, an example of an electronic data interchange system is the one that is used in supermarkets, for example, where you go there with your items, they scan them, and the system is able to generate as a receipt for you. So that is an example of an electronic data interchange system. So EDI is electronic data interchange system. Yeah. Then we also have the GIT deliveries. GIT is just in time. Just in time. So this
GIT delivery
that was developed by one of the Japanese engineer, and his name is Taichi Ohno. And the focus of Taichi Ohno was to reduce on cost. So they realized that organizations that were doing manufacturing were incurring a lot of costs and a lot of waste. So the main focus of this engineer was to be able to reduce costs within the organization and at the same time reduce on wastes. So unapata ukiwa kazini, for example, unapata there are some people who like wasting a lot of time. Anaingia asubuhi, kazi yenye anafanya ni kutembea kwa maofisi akisimamia watu. So by the time anafika maybe saa 7 amefika, ametembea ofisi zote, hakuna kitu yenye amefanya. So unapata at the end of the day you have a lot of waste. Work is accumulating and operational costs are also increasing. So the essence of just in time is to be able to bring items whenever they are required in the organization, just in time. Unaona? For example, kama ulikuwa unaunda baiskeli na ulikuwa unataka tire, unataka hizo machuma, whenever you need, tuseme unataka kuunda gari in the next 1 hour, you tell the suppliers to bring those items 1 hour before you start your assembly. So you'll be saving on issues to do with material handling, issues to do with store cost and what have you, warehousing costs and what have you. The other type of customer supplier characteristic is the batch manufacturing chain. So when you talk about batch manufacturing is where you are producing items in batches, in lots. For example, you have batch 1, then you have batch 2, like that until you finish your production. In this type of chain, we have many customers and many suppliers. So you realize we have many customers for those items, and at the same time, we have many suppliers. And this type of chain can be common in a very complicated web. For example, ukitembea mahali kama sokoni, asubuhi unapoenda kununua vitu kama vegetables, ukienda market in the morning, you see we have very many customers, and at the same time, we have very many suppliers supplying a particular item. And this is also common in the M-Pesa industry, where we have many M-Pesas, yet we also have. For example, when you walk in town, hawezi tembea 10 steps without seeing an M-Pesa. Right center, everywhere we have M-Pesa. So we have very many customers, and at the same time we have very many suppliers. So basically, they produce in batches. Yeah. Then the other type of chain is the retail and distribution chain. And this chain is everywhere where we have retail industries. And it is characterized by many customers, but relatively very few suppliers. So for example, we have few retail industries. Retail industries, see retailers when wanaanza tu biashara. Retail industry or retail chains. For example, Subtaskis is a retail chain because it has many branches. Quickmart is a retail chain. Same as which other supermarket? Carrefour, Naivas. We have this other one, the Game. All those are retail chains. So you realize they have many customers, yet they have very few supplies or very few branches. And that is a problem also. Then we have customized methods such as vendor managed inventory, which facilitates how they deal with their suppliers. So vendor managed inventory, this is a system that is used where suppliers can be given access to the system of an organization. Or just a minute. Yes. There was a call. So kuna mtu hapa ananipigia anasumbua mimi. So I was talking about the retail chain. So
Mm-hmm.
there's this system called vendor managed inventory. This is a
Mm-hmm.
system that allows organizations to be able to share information when it comes to supplier organization relationship. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you can be having a
Mm-hmm.
company. Let's say you are
Mm-hmm.
working for a company like, let's say your dream company is UN, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So one day you'll be working for UN.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your suppliers who supply you with the products in that organization. So those
Yes.
suppliers, you as
Mm-hmm.
the organization, you'll be able to access their website and see what
Mm-hmm.
they have in terms of
Mm-hmm.
inventory so that you can make some orders. At the
Yes.
same time, those guys will be able
Mm-hmm.
to see what you have and make
Mm-hmm.
orders.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, when you see the system of Naivas, for example, you as a
Mm-hmm.
customer, you will be able to access some of the materials that they have in terms of the inventory that they are selling.
Mm-hmm.
So unaonanga unaenda tuseme unataka kubai kitu online hata Jumia unapata
Mm-hmm.
you are able to access even the materials that they have, what they
Yes.
sell, the
Yeah.
prices. So vendor
Yeah.
managed inventory will allow you to be able to do that very easily.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Then we
Mm-hmm.
also have the service chains. Service
Mm-hmm.
chain, this is common in the service industries like the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
where their main focus is the services that they are going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also have libraries. For example, when
Mm-hmm.
you are using the Upper Hill Library, that is a
Mm-hmm.
kind of a service chain, and their main focus is to give services to various people, to
Okay.
various institutions, to various individuals that want their services and things like that.
Mm.
Yeah, and we also have many other services like schools, for
Mm-hmm.
example,
Mm.
can be a type of a service chain.
Schools.
Schools that offer services
Okay.
and things like that. Any
Mm-hmm.
question?
Yes, and something like a telecommunication company, it's also a
Yeah,
service. Eh?
Safaricom, that is a service.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Airtel services.
Mm. Okay. And hospitals.
Hospitals also, even supermarkets, they offer services. Because
Oh,
what
okay.
they
Yeah.
are, we are going to get a service at the same time you're going to get a product.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Consultancies, those guys who are doing consultancies, they are offering
Oh,
a
they also
service.
service. Okay.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
so a service is something that is intangible, something that you can't touch, yet you can feel.
Mm.
For example, ukienda
Ah,
kushukwa, si
yes.
ndio?
Eh,
Ukishukwa unajua unafeel huyo jamaa anakushuka vizuri ama vibaya, unaona? Labda
eh,
anavinya nywele, unasikia uchungu, unajua vitu kama hizo.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Any
The
other
part
question?
of service chain. No, no, I understand this one.
The other category of
Oh yeah, another question.
yes,
How about airlines
yeah, airlines are also service. Even
service?
transportation industry, yeah, that is a service
Yes,
they give you.
service.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Mm.
The other thing is virtuality chains. So
Mm-hmm.
in virtuality chains, basically it gives a series of relationships between
Mm-hmm.
partners based on the value added exchange of information. As such, information replaces the need of inventory. So we have those chains that are virtual, not necessarily that you must interact physically. For example, right now, this is a virtual service that I'm giving you. Hello, are you able to hear me? Hello,
Yes,
hear me?
yes. Hello.
Yeah, we have those
Yes,
services
but
that have
you're breaking a little bit.
maybe the network.
Mm.
There is those virtuality
Yes,
services
network.
like this one is a virtual service I'm giving you. So basically, there's that relationship between
Yes.
various people, but there is nothing like inventory that is
Mm.
concerned, something that you can see. No, no.
Mm.
So
Mm.
virtual services or virtual chains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The likes of Jumia, those are virtuals. When you're applying for a job, for example, you are told to apply online. So that is a virtual type of chain. So there's nothing that is involved, yet you're getting the service at the end of the day. Then you have the supply chain according to the scope. So we have supply chain that may be local. For example, when you're dealing in your local region, like let's say Kenya. Kenya is a local area. So if you are doing a service or you are doing a business in Kenyan context, then you are doing the local context of that chain. So you are not.
Yeah, breaking up.
Oh, I'm breaking, eh? And right now, are you able to hear?
Yes.
I think there is an issue with the network.
Yes.
Ama, it's on your side. Maybe it's on your side. Hello.
Now it's better.
Oh, it's better.
Uh,
Hello.
no, it has gone back again to the same echo.
It's an echo. Or maybe let me do something. I think there is a problem somewhere. Just a minute. Hello. Is it okay now? Hello.
Hello.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, I think I can hear you. Yes.
So I was talking about
Yeah,
the
now I
scope.
can hear you.
I was talking about the supply chain that can be classified as a local area.
Again, I can't. Again, I can't hear you. You're breaking again.
Maybe it's the network now. Eh? And now, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Hello. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yeah, now, I hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's an issue with the network, maybe. Eh? So let's say you are doing a business in Kenya.
Just the network, yes.
You are doing the business within Kenya, and you have a chain.
Yeah.
You have a chain of various organizations or various branches within the Kenyan context. Then that is an example of a local chain. Then we have a regional chain. For example, you're in the East African region. Your business cuts across the East African region. Hello?
Okay, I lost you. The only thing I had was within Kenya.
I was saying, for example,
yeah, that's it.
For example, you are doing business within the Kenya borders. Let's say you're a company that deals with, let's say, even a supermarket, for example, that is within Kenya. Then you have various branches within Kenya. For example, you have a branch in Mombasa, you have another branch in Kakamega, you have another branch, let's say, in Turkana, but you're within Kenya. So depending on that scope, then we can say your chain is local. It's a local chain that is only present in the Kenyan context. Then we have another one that is the regional context. For example, you are within the East African region. Let's say you're in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. You are a business that operates within Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, or even Somalia or Ethiopia. So you're in the Eastern region. So we can say that is a regional chain because your scope is on the region of East Africa. Then we also have the international regional supply chain.
Yes.
The other one is an international chain. If you have a chain that cuts across 2 or 3 continents, or even the globe, then you are an international chain. For example, DHL is an international chain because it operates in almost every country in the world. Coca-Cola is an international chain because it has branches all over the globe. Am I still getting lost? Or it is clear now? I think on your side, hello? 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 Are you able to hear me?
Hello?
You can hear me? You can hear me?
Hello?
Yes. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me? Hello? Let's say you're operating in even the world at large. You have a branch in at least all the countries in the world. So you are an international chain. And I was given an example of, let's say, DHL.
Yes.
Then I also gave an example of Coca-Cola, which is an international chain.
Yeah.
Because it has very many branches in across every county and every continent. Then the other classification is according to complexity. So in this type of chain, we can define supply chain.
Yeah,
yes?
Give me 1 minute, I go get my water.
It's okay, no problem.
Okay.